What's up, everybody? Welcome to this live stream today. We have an exciting announcement about a new update to Prime. It's a free update that's available today, right now in the App Store, in the iOS App Store, so you could download it for free for iPhone, iPad, and it's also available in the Mac App Store, available for Mac. And this is an exciting new update to Prime with some features that you guys have been requesting for a while, and we've been working really hard on those. And we just got through a couple months of beta testing it. Thank you to all of our beta testers. It was a lot of work, but hey, we got through it and we got all the bugs out that we could find. And now it is available to you now for free in the app stores. So you can download that today and update the new version of Prime. My name is Matt McCoy and I'm the founder of loopcommunity.com. And I'm excited to be here today, kind of show you, walk you through these new features. So here's the thing, we're doing this live, and so I've got my phone here, and if you guys have any questions, go ahead and just type them into the comment box. And also just let me know where you're watching from. It's kind of fun to see where all these worship leaders are tuning in from. So Aaron Daniels, what's up? Glad you're here. Tessa, glad you're here. Nate, what's up? Hello, Aaron from Wakanda, Colorado. Nate in Wisconsin. Doran Woods. Thomas. It's awesome. So you guys, welcome. Hey, if you can, if you're watching this, go ahead and hit the share button on this video. And when you hit the share button, you will be entered to win a $20 coupon code that you can use on loopcommunity.com to download tracks or whatever you want, patches, or maybe even a Looptunes controller. So make sure you hit the share button now. Maybe just type in a little thing about what you love about Loop Community or why worship leaders might be interested in Prime. If you're part of worship groups, worship Facebook groups, go and share it in there. Let's just try to get the word out as we can. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. So glad you guys are watching. Kevin is watching from Brussels. That's awesome. Jared from Nashua, New Hampshire. John from Chattanooga. Joe Ayers from Tennessee. Marcus from Atlanta. Texas. Matthew Willis. Come on. Dubai. Aaron from Dubai. That's awesome. Chris from Huntington, Indiana. Jeremy Yap from Elgin, Illinois. It's not far from us. We're here in Chicago, downtown Chicago. Jeremy, just get in your car and drive down here. You'll be here by the time it's over. Danae, what's up? From British Columbia, I think. Matt Kiefer from Gainesville, Texas. Dylan from Chicago. What's up? Doran, Houston. Guys, thank you guys. Again, hit the share button. Let's get the word out. We're going to walk you through these new features in Prime. There's some really cool stuff that you're going to be able to do, and I'm excited to show that to you today. So let me just show you where you can get this update. So first of all, if you want, you can just go to the iOS store on your phone. I have it pulled up here on the Mac, you can see, and it'll be a free update. If you just go to Update, Prime Multitrack app. We actually updated the name. So it used to be in the iOS store, it used to be called Loop Community Prime, and now it's Prime Multitrack app by Loop Community. So you can find that in the iOS App Store. It looks just like this. Hey, if you're using Prime and you're loving it, it would really help us a lot if you would leave us a rating. Down here you can leave customer reviews. Hit the little review button in the app on your phone and leave us a rating. We read every single one of them, and honestly, all of your feedback is super welcome. It really helps us to know what direction to take Prime, what to add, what you guys love. It really is encouraging to our team, so thank you for that. If you can go and do that, that'd be awesome. All right, so Prime Multitrack app. Also, if you go to on a Mac, if you go open up the App Store app, you can just search up here Loop Community or Prime, and it'll pull up right here. And so I've got the latest version. This is Prime 4.0. And if you read real quickly here, you'll be able to see some of the new features that we've added, but I'm going to show them to you because I think that's more fun. But again, also in the Mac App Store, if you can leave us a review, this little star rating, I'll give it 5 stars. I may be biased, but hey. So check it out. So Prime 4.0, it's here today and it's free. Loop Community is all about supporting churches with free and affordable resources, all right? Because we know that not every church is like some massive mega church that has a huge budget. So we want to help churches of all sizes have a full sound. Every church should be able to do that. So we're creating products that help you do that, and Prime is a free app that I think is the easiest way to run tracks in worship. I've been a worship leader for over 15 years. I've been using tracks for definitely over 10 years, probably closer to 15. And I'll tell you that Prime has really revolutionized how I run tracks. I think it's just so much easier. What would take me, 20 minutes to do in other software, now I can do in Prime within like 5 seconds. Changing an arrangement, changing key, all that stuff. So guys who use Prime, you guys know what I'm talking about. So anyways, we're glad you guys are here. Let me see who has tuned in. Isaac, what's up? Dayton, Ohio. Katie from Greenville, North Carolina. Sanford, Sergio, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Joseph, Doran from Houston. You guys, welcome. We're glad you're here. All right, ready? We're going to dive into Prime 4.0. I'm going to show you some features. If you guys have any questions as I'm doing this, go ahead and ask in the comment box, and I will try to answer them as we go. So let me go ahead and pull up Prime 4.0, all right? So I have the latest version of Prime. The first thing that we're going to talk about is a new feature. And here's the thing. We're going to start with the best, because I know that you guys have been asking this for a while. And today I'm excited to announce that Prime now has Crossfades. We have added multiple transition options. I think there's 4, maybe 5 transition options that you can use to get from song to song. So I'm going to show you the transition options, and we're going to go through detail of what those transition options are and how to use them, all right? So on the right-hand side of Prime, all right, over here is my set list. Here's what's cool, is there's a little white arrow. Now, this used to be an arrow that was down, and when you tapped that, it auto-advanced, meaning that when your song was over, it automatically went to the next song. Well, what we did now is when you see the white arrow that looks like a play button, that means what it's going to do, this is just no transition. It's just a normal play, all right? The play button just means play through the song from start to finish. So when it gets to the end of this track, it's just going to stop like normal, all right? Now, one thing you're going to notice about Prime 4.0 is that the load time between the songs is way faster. So depending on some of your devices, it was like maybe like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, which I know when you're leading worship and you go to the next song, you're like, is it going to go? Well, now it's like instantaneous. So because we kind of rebuilt the audio engine underneath it, and now the song load time's really fast. So check it out. When I click on the next song, boom, like immediately the next song loaded. So it's way faster. Same thing with like when you hit play, if I hit next, it's going to load the next song right away. So that is going to be something that I think you guys are going to really love, is just the increased faster load time, all right? So let's look at the next transition. So if you want to change a transition on one of these songs, so click on this button here, or tap if you're on an iPad. This one right here, an arrow, a line with an arrow underneath it, is our new auto advance icon. So it works just like our previous auto advance. It's a new icon, but it works a lot faster. So let's go ahead and check this out. I'm going to hit play, and we're going to watch it end This Is Amazing Grace and go into Unstoppable God. You notice that This Is Amazing Grace ends at 4:43. We're at 3. Here it comes. And boom, it goes into the next song. So here's a little worship leader tip. For me, that transition is too long. So this is where you can use the end times in your favor. So This Is Amazing Grace, see how there's like a lot of, it's a pretty long hit that goes down. I want to maybe actually just trim this so it's a little faster. So let me go ahead and hit play. And I'm watching the counter to see when I want it to stop. So let's just say 4:35. So I'm going to change my end time here on This Is Amazing Grace to 4:35. I'm going to add a little fade out, like 2 seconds. And now check it out. There's going to be less of a transition time. So it faded out, and it went right into Unstoppable God.
3, 4.
So now there wasn't such a long ending. All right, so now let's look at another transition option. Let's look at, if you click it again, these 2 lines that go like this, that little icon, that is called overlap. What overlap is going to do is that when it gets to the end of your first song, it's going to go ahead and about 5 to 10 seconds in from the end, it's going to start playing your second song. So it's overlapping them. It's not fading any audio out. It's not fading any audio in. It's just overlapping them. So let me go and show you this. So let's go ahead and set the end time on This Is Amazing Grace. Let's go ahead and put that fade out back to what it was. And let's actually just reset it to what it was, all right? So 443, I'm going to turn overlap on, and let's just see what happens. And we might tweak this.
Intro, 3, 4.
So it went ahead and started my next song, and it's going to switch over once it gets to the end of the first song, right?
Verse, 3, 4.
Now, you'll also notice that when overlap was turned on, what happens is when it hits the end section, it actually stops the click from the first song, because you don't need the click anymore. At that point, the song's over, you're overlapping into the next song, so it kills the click of your first song, and will then launch the click of your second song and overlap the audio. Let's try it with another song. I'm going to drag Faithful to the End up. That's going to be our song that's going to transition into. I'm also going to edit the arrangement a little bit. We're actually going to just start with the chorus. I'm going to drag the chorus over like that. This is other things I just love about Prime. I mean, how crazy is it that you can change the arrangement of a song that fast? All right. Let's go ahead and hit play. Let's go and hear how it overlaps into Faithful to the End.
Chorus, 2, 3, 4.
We went right into the chorus of Faithful to the End. It switches over visually. So, and you also notice that I had a different click sound for Faithful to the End, which it go and transitioned right over to that as well. Pretty cool. I actually like that digital click sound. I'm going to change that as well for This Is Amazing Grace. Awesome. All right, so that is overlap. You can set, of course, you can kind of customize it by maybe trimming the end section. So even like, let's try it. This is all good, right? This is just practice. This is some worship leader tips. This is what I would probably do. So I'm going to set the end time on This Is Amazing Grace just a little farther back because I want it to start a little quicker. So let's go and try it. I just moved it back to 440. Actually, let's do it one more. Let's do 439. And let's go and see what happens. I'm going to hit play. So it started the click.
2, 3, 4.
And now we're into Faithful to the End. So because I had trimmed back This Is Amazing Grace a little farther, it actually started Faithful to the End right at the downbeat of This Is Amazing Grace. So it killed the This Is Amazing Grace click and then went right into Faithful to the End. All right, let's keep moving. The next transition option. And again, this stuff you could play with. I mean, I'm sure you guys are going to get really creative. I can't wait to hear about how you guys use these transitions because there's a lot of things you could do, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and set, now click it again to the Crossfade icon. Now the Crossfade icon is the one that you guys have been asking for a ton. And what this does is it's the same thing as overlap, except for that it actually is going to fade out the audio of the first song and fade in the audio of the other song, all right? So let's go ahead and try this out. I'm going to go ahead and turn on crossfades. Let's just see what those times, what it sounds like.
Chorus, 2, 3, 4.
So crossfaded right into the next song. Now, something where this would be really good, if I even moved back, let me go ahead and move back the arrangement. I'm going to hit reset on Faithful to the End, because this one starts kind of with like acoustic pad, right? So that might be something you want to just crossfade in, especially since it's a key change. Let's actually make it a little bit more dramatic so you can hear the key change from the two. So This Is Amazing Grace is in B flat. Let's just say we're going to do Faithful to the End in A, all right? So now it sounds like this. Again, what other app can you change the key of a song like that? It's pretty awesome. All right, so with the crossfade, this is going to be really good because it's going to actually, we're going to come out of This Is Amazing Grace in B flat, and it's going to just bring us into the key of A, all right? So let's go and look at our times because I know I've messed all these up now since we've been playing with it for a while. So it's 4:43. Let's go and just bring it, let's leave it at 4:43 and see what happens. I'm going to hit play.
2, 3, 4.
So it crossfaded right in. Now I might even tighten that up just a little bit. So let's go back to This Is Amazing Grace. I'm going to set the end time to 440. And let's just see what happens now, all right?
Verse 2, 3, 4.
So now it crossfaded the audio right into each other. Pretty awesome. All right, we're gonna keep playing with crossfades in a little bit. I'm gonna show you another thing you could do with that. But let's go and keep moving on to the next transition option. So if we click on transition button, now this one, it's a little square with an arrow coming out of it. This one I'm really pumped about because this is one that one of our guys here in the office had an idea about, and I thought it was awesome. So we put it in as, you know, even last minute we were like, let's add this transition option. It's really cool. And what we're calling this transition option is trigger. So how many times have you been in a worship set where maybe you do the song, and then at the end of the song you're just like, man, we want to just jam on the bridge, or like do another bridge, or we want to do another chorus, but you want to stay on the click, but the track is over. So previously in Prime, the track would be over and then the click would just stop. Well, now what trigger is when the song is done playing, the click is going to keep going until you tell it to do something else. So the click is going to keep going forever until I tell it to go to the next song or stop. So let's go and try out trigger. This is really cool because I think that this is going to help a lot of you guys as you're leading worship. This is called trigger, all right? And we're going to actually try it with, let's do faithful to the end, all right? I'm going to turn trigger on. So just click through the options. And let's go ahead and look at faithful to the end, and let's play it from the outro. And I kind of started it farther back.
In 2, 3, 4.
All right, so the song's ending. And the click, you're just going to see it go on and on forever. And I could stay in here for another hour and the click would keep going. But here I could be doing like another down bridge or another chorus. And then when I trigger on my loop-de-miss pedal or on to the next song in Prime, then it's going to stop the click. So here's a little keyboard shortcut on Prime. If you hit the arrow key on your keyboard, for Prime for Mac, it'll go to the next song. And now, here we go. Now we're in
Intro,
Unstoppable God.
3, 4.
When I'm ready to go. So that's cool. Those are the transition options. There's regular play. There is auto advance, which it loads immediately. There's overlap. There's crossfade, which overlap and crossfade are very similar. The only difference between the two is that crossfade fades out the audio and fades the other one in. Overlap just plays them over each other. So it really depends on the type of song you're using at the time of which one you're going to want to use. I would use crossfades if you're coming in from like different keys and you want to transition into the next key. You may not want to overlap them. You want to kind of crossfade those to make it more subtle. If it's in the same key, overlap might be a great option. So these, you kind of just have to play with these. And then there's trigger, which I'm really pumped about that one. I think trigger is a really fun feature. So let's go ahead and look at some questions, all right? And if you guys have any questions at all, go ahead and tune in here. So let's scroll back. What's up, Nicholas from Montana? Derek says faster load times. John Walker. You guys, go download the new version. It's going to be awesome. It's for free in the App Store today. Awesome updates. I would love to see when we select multi-outs that it would transfer to all the songs. Thanks for all you guys too. That's a great feedback. Thank you for that. David, how do you extend the sound if you want to hang out and do spontaneous worship? Hey, there we go. You can use trigger. So trigger would be a great option for you, David. Thomas, how do I get Stephen Furtick as my cue voice? I love it. We definitely should work on that. That'd be killer. Justin, can the trigger transition be assigned to a loop instead of the click? It can't trigger a loop right now, but trigger is just for the click currently. Doran, trigger is great. I'm hoping this means we can get the ability to now set any click to a pad track rather than being limited to a few beats or faster or slower or none at all. Yes, that all is coming. Do not worry about that. Micah, how does Looptimus work with crossfades? Good question. Looptimus with crossfades, you set up crossfades as your transition between the songs, and then Looptimus you're using just to trigger to the next song. So you're actually not using Looptimus to trigger the crossfade. You do that inside of Prime. Looptimus is just helping you get from song to song. So song 1 would be button 1, song 2 would be button 2. Soon there will be crossfades on demand, which you probably could assign that to a button in Looptimus. All right. So let me go and talk through, I'm going to show you one more thing with crossfades because I think this is really cool. We have a thing that's available to you at Loop Community called Prime Pads. So people have asked us, how do I use pads in Prime? Well, if you've been trying to figure that out, I'm going to show you now. And this is awesome with crossfades. This actually makes it way better, all right? So crossfades makes pads in Prime easy. So all you do is go to loopcommunity.com and search Prime Pads. And we've got a ton of these, all right? You can choose from different keys. It's not even showing all of them right now. I'm just going to pick on this one. This is Volume 1C. We have Volume 2 as well. And they're all different sounds, all right? So here's the one in the key of C. All right? So now I can buy this. It's $4.99. And here's what it gives you in Prime. Check this out. So you can get the pads at our website. And once you download those, this is what you get. You get this pad that now you can customize the sound of by changing the different stems. So a lot of pads out there are just one audio file that's all mixed together and you just play with that. Well, what we did is we broke that pad up into different sounds. So there's one that we called verb, or fifth, or cloud, organic, so for $4.99, this basically gives you 12 different pad sounds. But what's cool is that you put them together and you can kind of mix your own custom sound. So this is like pads on steroids. If I want to take out the fifth, I can just drop it like that. All right, let me hit play again because I had it set to a minute, which I'll talk about in a second. Add in some noise. So there's my pad, all right? Now what's also cool is with Prime Pads, you can change the key. So if you want to be in the key of B, or B flat, or A, you can change the key of these pads and make them whatever you need them to be, all right? So check out Prime Pads at Loop Community. Now here's how you could use them with crossfades. And this is where I'm really excited about it. So let's go and just bring this into like a real worship leader scenario, all right? Let's just say we're doing, This Is Amazing Grace, all right? And we're in the key of, let's bring This Is Amazing Grace down to the key of A. So we're doing This Is Amazing Grace in the key of A, but we're gonna be doing Faithful to the End in the key of B. So, but between those two songs, I want to actually like read a scripture or say something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Prime Pad in between those songs, and I'm going to set up crossfades to go automatically into those next songs. So I'm going to bring Prime Pads and put it right in the middle, all right? And I'm going to change the key of the pad to the key of B because I want it to transition right into Faithful to the End, all right? So now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use crossfades. First of all, we're going to crossfade into the pad. So I'm going to turn crossfades on. I think my end time is probably good, probably at 440, that's fine. We'll try it and then we'll tweak it if it's not right. It's going to go into the pad, and I set the end time of my pad to 1 minute, meaning I'm kind of deciding how long I'm going to give myself to talk. So let's just say I'm like, okay, because like guys who are running Planning Center, you might want to actually program these times in. I'm like, okay, I only have a minute to talk. So I'm going to pray or say whatever I'm going to say in a minute. All right, and then, so this pad's going to play for a minute. After a minute, it's going to then, I'm going to tell it what to do. Let's have it, this is actually a scenario maybe where I wouldn't use crossfade. So I'm going to crossfade into the pad, but I'm going to use overlap to get from the pad into Faithful to the End. All right, because it's in the same key, I don't really need to crossfade this. But again, this is all trial and error. Like, we'll try it, and we'll tweak it if we need to. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're actually going to play this. I think I set all that up right. Let's go and just play it from the end, and we're going to automate this. It's going to go all the way through. Nice. So it just crossfaded into my pad. Now I've got a minute to say or do whatever I'm going to do. And at about 50 seconds on the timer, you'll see it's going to start Faithful to the End. Okay, here it comes. Ready? Oh yeah.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
And now I'm in the verse of Faithful to the End, and a perfect, seamless transition. I didn't have to do anything. Actually, I was reading some of your guys' comments. I didn't have to touch anything. Prime crossfaded from This Is Amazing Grace into the pad, out of the pad, into Faithful to the End.
Verse 2,
Pretty awesome.
2, 3, 4.
Some of you guys have questions. Can you add a click to the pad? At this moment, you cannot add a click to a prime pad, but that is something we're going to add. But here's what you could do. You could download these pads and add a click to them, and then upload those to Prime Cloud, because Prime Cloud is a free service that we offer that lets you upload any audio you want. So you could upload a pad with a click on it, and the click could show up down here as a red fader, and then you could have a click onto your pad. So that's definitely no problem. That's really easy to do. Prime pads, we're just trying to make it really simple for you to be able to just add a pad in for a moment like that. We will be adding an opportunity to add a click to it within Prime, but not right now. So that's Prime Pads. Again, just go to loopcommunity.com, search for pads or Prime Pads, and you'll be able to find these. We've got a couple different volumes. This is just volume 1, and we have them on all different keys. So that's an awesome way to run a pad in Prime. We have a video that we're going to release maybe today or tomorrow that's going to kind of walk you through that process again. But I think that's a pretty great way to, make your transition smoother. So here's another feature that we added, and it is called auto fade out and auto fade in. This is another feature request you guys have asked about a lot. You'll notice that down here by the master fader, we have taken the stereo and pan button and we moved it to the settings box. So now it's right here in the settings window, stereo or pan, because most of the time people have it on pan. But what we did is we replaced it with this auto fade out and auto fade in button, all right? So now check this out. While this song is playing, if I press this auto fade out, the tracks are going to fade out. The click and the cues are still going to keep going. So, you know, if I just wanted to get off the tracks
Interlude 2, 3,
and just play to a
4.
click, I can bring the tracks back in by pressing it again, and now the blue faders and the tracks will fade back in. You can fade that in and out as many times as you want, and you can even abandon it halfway through. So if you like accidentally hit the fade out, you can press it again and it will fade back in. So way easier.
Bridge 2, 3, 4.
That's a feature that surprisingly a lot of people have asked for. For me as a worship leader, I've never once really needed to do that, so I'm not totally sure, but a lot of people have been asking for it, and so, hey, we're a loop community. We give the people what they want, right? So, fade in, fade out, it's cool. Easy way to fade in and out the tracks. All right, third feature we've added, this is just a simple kind of organizational thing, but in your Add Songs dialog box, you now have a search box that you can search your track library. So if you're looking for a song, you can just type in "This Is Amazing," and now you have "This Is Amazing Grace." We're going to have, in a later update, we're going to have just more categories and breakdowns, because I know that as your guys' track libraries are growing, it's becoming more and more important to be able to easily and quickly find your songs. So we added a search box for you. Another thing we did, this was a big one, is in previous versions of Prime, you could only transpose 4 half steps down and 4 half steps up. Well, now you can transpose infinite. So you can actually change every song to any key you want. So check it out. It goes all the way through. Let's go and go up. So you can go all the way up, and it happens right away in time. Now, obviously, it sounds weird when you're doing it.
Bridge 2, 3.
So you can transpose it to whatever key you need. And with Prime, we made it so that anything that doesn't need to be transposed doesn't get transposed. So drums, percussion, tambourine, if you label your tracks those, they will not transpose because they don't need to be transposed. We just transpose guitars, things like that, keys. All right, so that's another feature. Another thing that we added was click accents. So some of you guys have asked, can I get rid of the accent? Well, you can if you just turn off this click accent button right here in the click options. So let me go ahead and hit play so you can hear what this sounds like. If I turn off the click accent, you'll notice that there's no accent.
Verse 2, 2, 3, 4.
Cool, right? Aaron says, dynamic cues section. I'm guessing you're asking if we have dynamic cues. The good news is that Prime for the past couple years has actually had dynamic cues, meaning if I go to a different section, the cues are all dynamic.
2, 3, 4.
And it follows where I tell it to go. So if I tell it to go to the bridge, check it out. Ready?
Bridge 2, 3, 4.
Cues changed for me. So dynamic cues, yes, definitely. Those are in Prime 4.
Bridge 2, 3, 4.
All right, so in case you missed it, Prime 4 has all the transition options you want now. We've got search box, you can infinite keys, you can transpose on the fly inside of Prime. We're trying to make it really easy for you guys to do this. So we've got some cool updates too that we're working on right now for the next version of Prime. So stay tuned for those. We are dedicated to this product and we're dedicated to making it incredible. I'm a worship leader and I lead worship just about every single weekend, and so I know what it's like to be leading worship and being in a rehearsal and you need to be able to change an arrangement or change a key. Like I get all that. And so I'm using Prime on stage with me every weekend. And so I know what struggles and things need to be fixed and tweaked, and so we're constantly working on this app. We're constantly going to be adding new features and it's a free app, completely for you guys, because, hey, we're here to support you. This is Loop Community, and we're a community of worship leaders helping each other. That's why we started the company, was to be a community of worship leaders resourcing each other with tracks. That's the thing I love about Loop Communities. Like, if you make your own tracks, you can upload them and sell them on the site so that other worship leaders can download them. It's sharing tracks, sharing resources, and we're doing that with Prime. So I hope that's helpful for you. Next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central, we're going to be having another live stream, another Loop Live, and the topic is going to be Looptimus. And I'm going to be going deep on how you can use Looptimus to run tracks. And Looptimus can do so many different things, and we're going to cover all the features. We're going to go from beginner Looptimus to like advanced Looptimus stuff. All right. So join us next Wednesday at 2 p.m. I think there might be a way to sign up for that soon. So make sure that you have that on your calendar. Loop Live next Wednesday, 2 p.m. Central, if you want to learn about Looptimus. But go ahead and download the free update to Prime today. Let your worship leader friends know about it. Thank you guys for supporting us. Thanks for being a part of Loop Community. We could not do what we do without you, and we appreciate all of the encouragement and feedback you guys give us. It's really awesome. So happy Prime 4 release day, and have a great day. We'll see you soon.